When it comes to the world of racing, there is nothing more exciting to watch or more heart-pounding for the contestants than speedboat racing. Here in Florida, we have several different races that transpire, but one that is always fun to watch and everyone must come out to see is the 2014 World's Title Series Hydroplane Boat Races, hosted by the Race of the Kids Foundation. And with us today are Gary Levin and Bill Hostler from Race for the Kids Foundation. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So tell me a little bit about the 2014 World's Title Series Hydroplane Boat Races.
Well, they are going to be taking place in Lake Alfred, October 17th, 18th, and 19th. The parking will be $5. There'll be a 3-day parking pass for $10. Admission is $5 per adult. Children under 12 are free, and there'll be weekend pit passes for $10. Now, the pit passes will allow them to go and mingle in the pits with the drivers and the crews. The only area they will not be allowed is what we call the hot pits, and that's right on the beach. And that's because the motors will be running and there'll be props on the boats. In the cold pits, the motors are not running, and there are no props on the boats.
Now, speaking of speed, I've watched some of the footage on these races, and it's just amazing how fast they go. What are some of the speeds that these boats actually reach?
Some of them reach 120 mile an hour. That's the 1100 cc's. They're capsule boats. And anything that runs over 100 here in the United States has to be capsule because of the insurance problem, things like that. We have the Italians that'll be coming over. Alex Camona in 2010 was running 116 down the straightaway in an 11'4" boat, laying on his stomach. He was booking. So we expect not that many. We expect maybe 16 teams from Europe this year and a lot of Americans. Normally the Italians come over because they have beach starts. That's how they start, like a Le Mans start. And they kick our butt going off the beach, is what it is. But we run clock starts over here, so some of our classes that we'll be running will be clock starts. And those classes, what we figure we're going to do the butt kicking.
Well, that's definitely something I'll have to come out and watch then.
Yes, yes.
Now, how many teams do you think are actually going to be participating this year? Do you know already?
We're hoping at least 80.
Yeah, we haven't done we were just talking about that. We're going to do what we call a roll call next week. And that's whenever all they'll register, and that's when we'll know.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, I know that Race of the Kids Foundation has been around for a while. How long has it been in existence?
It started in 2005. It started as a fundraiser for a camp for children with varied disabilities on Tiger Lake. We did it as a fundraiser. That was the very first one. And that was shortly after 2004 hurricanes of Charlie, Francis, and Jean. And it just perpetuated. As Bill said earlier, we did 3 Worlds. We probably did about 9 boat races since.
Yes, yes.
But this will be the 3rd Worlds. The Europeans seem to love to come to Lake Alfred. Race for the Kids does this spectacular job for them. In Europe, all they get is medals. We're the only ones that give them medals and trophies.
Ah, okay.
And we put them on a podium, middle, 2nd, 3rd.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. We had in 2010, there was a girl from Berlin came over, Yvonne Cody, and she borrowed one of the rigs that the guys had over here, and she went out and got 3rd place in the Worlds here, and then that same year she went up to Depew, Illinois, and won the nationals in the hydroplane class she was in, and that doesn't happen that often.
That's a great story.
We're hoping she'll be back this year. We're hoping Alex Camona will come in. There's the engine builder Rossi is going to be here with his rig, so we know that at least going to be in one container that's coming over from Europe. There's supposed to be 20 boats. So that's how they get all their equipment over here. And there's some speeds, you're going to see speeds well over 100.
Well, that's the interesting thing that I've noticed with the boats. It seems like 120 miles an hour on the water just seems faster than 120 miles on land. I'm not
You
sure
need to
why.
be out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need to be out there. I raced until I was 80.
Oh, okay.
And the fastest I was running at that time when I was running 80 was 90 miles an hour. But my partner, who was 80 years old too, cut me off in the first turn, put me out of business. So they said, why don't I get my boat fixed? I said, I don't heel anymore like I used to. But we have kids classes, not at this one here, but most of the people will be running here are anywhere from 25 to even up to 75-year-old. Pete Voss, who is from Long Island, he runs well over 100 in a runabout. That's different than the hydroplanes. Mm-hmm. The runabouts are pointed and they ride on their knees. And all the engines that are running here will be either Italian or German engines.
Okay, why is that?
Because nobody makes them in the United States anymore. They're fully modified for racing engines. When you leave the beach, you leave it with about 10,000 RPMs, and when they pull their exhaust pipes up, they go immediately from 10 to 14,000.
That'll do it.
So
yeah.
They scream and they really go. We start in the classes that we're going to be running. The ones that we're going to run a clock start, while we're only allowed to run 14 boats, and the beach starts, they'll be running up to 20.
Oh, okay.
So it gets kind of crowded out there. It's not bad. It's a lot of fun.
It definitely sounds it.
You need to come out and watch it.
Yes.
The
you get a chance to talk to the drivers. You know, that's pretty.
Not a lot of sports that you get that opportunity.
Yeah.
And the beach starts. We'll be doing, because they go by time trials, so we'll be doing time trials for those two classes Friday, and after we do the time trials, then the other three classes, which will be running under the APBA, the American rules, which is a clock start, they'll be doing their testing and tuning after we do the time trials on the UIM classes.
Excellent. Now, how many people usually show up for these races?
I never, we're so busy we never pay attention.
Yeah, usually, the spectators?
Yes, sir.
Not as many as should to see this stuff, because it's really exciting when you see 20 boats come off the beach at the same time and go into the first turn to be side by side, or you see on a clock start where we can have 14 go down there and they go all running 100 miles an hour, some riding on their knees, some riding on their belly. It gets exciting.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, and we don't get many accidents. Not too many people get hurt because it is that safe. The American Powerboat Association has rules that we go by for safety. Union of International Motorboating, which is a worldwide organization who we're affiliating with for this race, they got their rules too, but it's going to be exciting, really. If you've never seen one go, you need to be there and see 12 or 20 boats go into the first turn, and all you see is spray. And I've gone into the first turn and you didn't know who was in front of you because you couldn't see it because all the spray hit you in the face.
I can only imagine what it must be like to be in one of those boats.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. My daughter did it for a lot of years. My son did it, and I did it. So the only one I can't talk into is my wife. She thinks that she's not crazy enough to get in one of those boats. It's pretty cool. But it's going to be an exciting time. There'll be a lot of good people out there. The spectators can go into the pits and they can talk to the drivers. The drivers welcome them to come in, and talk with them. They explain to them about their equipment and what it does, and they explain about the engines and the boats. Yeah. And most of the hydroplanes are all lay downs, and the runabouts are on their knees.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, over the years, considering how long you've been doing these races, how much have you been able to actually raise for the Kids Foundation?
We've gone anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000, $30,000.
That's amazing.
And this particular one is going to benefit the Lake Alfred Lions Club. They're a tremendous organization, and they do a lot of work with the youth in the city of Lake Alfred. They give the city their building in the summertime because it's adjacent to the park for the recreation program. And their newest project is they picked an elementary school, and they're feeding the kids on the weekends. They picked 20 children that have the reduced or free lunch and breakfast program, and they pack up backpacks for them for the weekend with food for the weekend. And if there's a 7-day holiday, like between Christmas and New Year's, they do the same. They pack up enough food for them for the whole week. A super organization.
Oh, definitely. Great job, great work that they do in the community.
Yeah, and this is all to benefit them, so the more people we can get out to come out and see this, what is happening with a boat race for years and years and years. People, well, I say years and years because I'm an old turkey. When I was a kid, why, there was no television, there was only radio, and everybody went to the boat races, not many car races, but they went to the boat races. Now we got so many sports right now that people just don't go and enjoy the thing that they should. And is there a lot of excitement? Yes, there is. You can go to any of these tracks and see, you know, cars wrecking, stuff like that. We don't have that many wrecks. We just got guys that go out there and let it rip all the time.
And actually, that's an interesting point. Tell us about a little bit about what goes into the safety of the drivers and with the boats.
Well, they have to wear, the biggest thing is the life jacket and the helmet, and now they have to wear Kevlar suits so that they don't get cut by propellers. And that's the biggest problem we have, is people getting cut by a propeller and stuff like that. So with the Kevlar, that no longer happens. They get bruises, but they don't get cuts. I fell out at 112 miles an hour up in Hinton, West Virginia. The worst I did was broke my neck because I went in feet first and ripped my helmet off my head. But now that's why I say anything over 100, they have to have a capsule. Mm-hmm. Because at that time we were riding in an open cockpit on your knees. And if somebody wants to come out and talk with me, I'd like to see them do that, because I'll take them through the pits and I'll introduce them to all the drivers. I know all the European drivers. I know all the American drivers, and I'd be glad to do that for them.
Well, you've heard it here first. When you go to the race, find Bill Hostler, because he will have the hookup for you.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out and talking to us about this today. I hope that you have a whole bunch of people show up for this.
Okay, well, let's hope so.
Let's hope so. We're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to seeing you there.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, the World Championships hydroplane boat races will have teams from around the world and across the USA compete for the champion's title. Friday is a time trial and testing day. Saturday and Sunday is the official race. This year's money is being raised for the Lake Elford's Lions Club youth programs to help make a difference in the lives of our children and the future. This year's event will be held on October the 17th through the 19th from 10 to 5 p.m. daily, Friday to Sunday. Event parking is $5 and admissions is $5. Kids under 12 are free. If you'd like to find out more about the 2014 World's Title Series hydroplane boat races hosted by Race for the Kids Foundation, you can go to their website at raceforthekidsfoundation.org, or you can call Gary Levin at 954-732-2393.